What is up, everybody? I hope you are having a fantastic day. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of questions and concerns and thoughts and opinions around the little blue buff cards that have been introduced to this game over the original Tactics Ogre. You know, and I've seen a lot of good and bad points, and I understand both sides of the story for the most part. And overall, I still think buff cards are a good addition to a game like this. Some people have made the argument that the randomness of it is a problem, the fact that they kind of favor the enemy spawning near them, the fact that, you know, an RNG system in a tactical game doesn't really have a place or a point because it can ruin your tactics. With some of that stuff I agree and some of that I disagree. I do think that the buff cards add a whole new tactical level to the game due to the buff cards being, yeah, they are random, but, you know, you see the card and you have a choice. Like, do I attack a unit? Do I grab this card? Do I take a hit to grab this card? There's a lot more questions or a lot more choices you have to ask yourself when you're playing now if you decide to go after those cards, because they're going to be out of your way most of the time. They may put you in a situation where you're going to take a hit. They may put you in a situation where, you know, any number of things could happen or might happen. And I find that to be very intriguing with it, and I find it just to add a whole other layer. But I also do see the problems because, like, you know, with every boss enemy in the game, they do start with 4 cards to enhance them and make them stronger. And that can be kind of annoying. Not to mention, some buff cards can make a useless unit into a really strong unit. You know, it can give a unit MP regen that's better, or MP that it doesn't have at the time. You know, so there's a lot of things that buff cards can do. I mean, heck, you can even get a couple, like, attack buff cards, and if a unit's 5 levels above you, now you have a fighting chance to, like, hurt them really bad, or, you know, it is nice that there's no defense buff cards, you know, nothing that raises, like, your physical or magical defense or any of that kind of stuff, which is nice. It looks like it's, you know, you got your crits, your offense attack, offense magic, you know, you got your auto skill, you got the MP, and then you got the little red one that just blows up all your debuffs, or all your buffs, but I think it's a nice little change. I think a lot of things with a remake, in my opinion, is not only should you remake the game to its entirety, but you should also consider, you know, possibly adding content. And one of the biggest things I regret, well, not regret, but one of the biggest things I found lacking was no new content in this at all. Like, not even a couple new classes or something. I don't know, just something. I mean, you know, if you're already adding, like, a mechanic called buff cards, so clearly you're not just creating the original game, you know. But anyway, I find them to be fine. I don't think they are too, like, game-breaking or overpowered or make the game harder or easier. The only thing I wish they would do for people that want the purist run, say you buy this game and you're like, oh man, I really love Tactics Ogre back in the day on the PSP, I want to replay it, have an option to turn them off, so that way you can get the original experience. I know they took away the cards that were originally in the game, that's what the buff cards kind of replace, but, you know, just to give people the option. I'm a firm believer in options in a game. I think the more toggles you have, on, off, you know, use this, don't use this, you're just going to get more people to play your game, you know, like people that purposely do, you know, no in-cap runs and no rewind chariot system, like, just have an option to turn those off for the player when they create the game, and then they, you know, then they can't, you know, do it still. Because, you know, I guarantee you there's people out there that do those runs, nobody's watching them. Oh, nobody's going to know that I do a, oh, he died, we'll just pretend like he didn't, you know, he's in-capped, we'll just pick him up, you know. I'm a firm believer in having the option to turn on and off stuff, you know, in a lot of games, to customize the game to play the way you want it to, you know. But buff cards in general, I think they're a great idea. I've never really seen a game do the buff card thing before like this, to this degree at least. There might be games that have, like, power-ups and stuff or little pickups on the field, but I think they did it really well. I think it integrates into the difficulty really well. I don't think it, you know, makes or breaks anything that's already there. And I think it's a great system. What do you in this game? Do you think they were worth it, or are they just, you know, not your cup of tea? What are your thoughts and opinion, guys? Because like I said, it's a kind of little divided, and I would love to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. I mean, that's why I make these videos. I love chatting and finding out what you guys say. I try to read and respond to every comment if I can, so let me know. Let me know. All in all, I think buff cards are a good thing. I don't think they're bad. Like I said, let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, later, guys. Peace.